It is Christmas time and Jared and I have been rushing around. It's 2 days till Christmas. My kitchen is an absolute disaster. I've got so much baking to do, I can't even tell you. That is awaiting for me this afternoon. Well, first of all, my name is Melissa if you're new here, and I apologize that our first meeting and greeting, you're seeing my kitchen. I'm super excited about the next couple of hours and I wanted to take you along on the journey. This channel is all about the Bible, loving the Bible, seeing God in the Bible, and that has everything to do with what we're about ready to do. Andy is on her way over. Andy is my ministry partner. But before she gets there, number one, I have to finish my makeup. Number two, I wanted to tell you some things that I've been thinking about this week. For the last probably 10 years, I have been very dedicated to reading the Bible. It's only been in the last 3 years that dedication has been with friends. The difference between doing the Bible with friends and doing it alone, I just can't express how different it is, how much better it is, how much more I learn, how much more excited I get. So this week, some friends and I started talking about faith. We were talking on Marco Polo, which is just a video app. And I love it when there's just not answers, but instead questions of like, wait a second. I feel like I should know what faith is, but I kind of can't really tell you besides a belief in God. But what does that actually have to do with my everyday life? I'm not sure. So we started through Marco Polo, talking about faith, looking it up in the Bible and sharing with one another. And I'm like, there is no better way to learn. It reminds me of what we did last week, talking about creativity and collaboration and how creativity is best done collaborating. This is the same thing. Bible reading is best done with friends. There is just no comparison. I'm not sure why we think it would be best done alone. I've been under that delusion, and possibly you have too. What are we getting ready to do?
We're getting ready to play Santa Claus to our team.
Tell them what you forgot.
I forgot to wear my one-piece red onesie. You don't know what you're missing.
We are complete opposites. So she wants to dress in a red onesie.
Just
I want to
for
dress in
fun.
all black.
Only because I think it's hysterical. Can we just clarify? And yes, you are dressing in all black.
I am.
Merry Christmas. So we're talking specifically about 3 friends, Bailey, Galen, Katie. It was actually 1 year ago. They joined us, Lord help them, on our team in a total volunteer capacity, but man, do they
Giving
have it.
lots of time and effort and energy. This is a chronological Bible. This one right here got me onto chronological Bible, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. If you guys haven't, this should be your year for chronological Bible. Game changer.
It felt like I had never read this before.
It's because it puts the story in order and you're just like, oh, okay, now I see.
Now the prophets have context. Now I
Yes.
know why he's so angry, because
Yes.
they just did that. It feels like a narrative story rather than pieces here and there.
All of these links are going to be below in the description, so if you want them. This is Erin Condren. This will go over this.
Yeah, it's got the elasticy thing. She's gonna keep all of our goodies for Bible reading.
These
are these Easter pens?
These are not Easter pens. These are erasable highlighters that are
Ooh.
pastels. Andy, why do they need to be pastels?
So they don't bleed through Melissa Dunn's pages.
That is correct. Andy had these made and I think they're super cute. So they're little Post-its that have our we X, we O. We can't explain it, but it is something that we in our Truth Group community talk about a whole lot. We've got a bookmark, and then we've got these so that I could get free shipping on Target. So we're packing these up for our friends, and we're going to deliver them. Did you tell them we're coming?
We're giving our friends one box as if it's for her relationship with God only. And it looks like that.
Well, it is for her
And it is
relationship
for that.
with God.
The problem is that's not where the buck stops.
When Bailey is in her chronological Bible this year, no pressure, Bailey, but when she's in it, it absolutely benefits me. It absolutely benefits Andy. It absolutely benefits her children and her husband. It has only been in the last 5 years, 3 years. 3 years that I've been living like this, of your time in the Bible, Andy, radically changes me.
Can I say something? The key word there is radically, because what happened before those 3 years, Melissa, is your time in the Bible or my time did have every once in a while a measure of influence, but it was like this. Like there's a target in the dark, and we would go like this every once in a while.
We're in Bible study. Listen, we're writing Bible studies together. We're in Bible studies together. And it's not like I didn't know about Andy's relationship with God or she's not talking to me about the Bible. But there is something different when you are digging in the same area. When I know her question and her question about Hebrews 11 spurs me on to be like, yeah, wait a second. What does that mean? It is a different ball game.
Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family.
We started in August looking at Hebrews 10. If you guys watched last week's video, it was all about this creation process, which I'm doing hand in hand. Although I'm not holding her hand, I don't want to hold her hand, but side by side, shoulder to shoulder with Andy. And it's all about faith. This feels like you are a heathen.
Yeah.
Not a heathen. What is it when you're like, what is that word when you're...
I know the word you're talking about. Hold on. It's called...
We're real smart.
What is that word?
What is the word?
It's not a heathen.
It's a... I was going to say Antichrist. That's not it. It's a...
Jebusite.
It's not hedonistic. Heretic. Heretic.
There it is.
Heretic.
Yes.
Whew. Andy, tell us why you're a heretic. Because whenever we talk about faith, she does this face and she's like, that's just not compelling. And I really pushed back on her until we started talking about it with friends and realizing they're like, it doesn't really resonate. So Andy, why does this aspect of faith, why is it not as compelling as I think it is?
I feel like for years and years, maybe decades, I've been told I ought to be a woman of faith. I get that. I want to be. The thing is, nobody has ever really tangibly described what faith looks like because we define it as something that's coming, belief for what is coming. It feels like, well, then how do I know what to do today if it's never going to get here?
So, Bruce, what is compelling to you then? So if that part of faith is not compelling, what is compelling to you today?
I could start crying a little bit because what is compelling is...
Our friendship. Does it bring tears to your eyes?
I see faith as being this, like my real people in my real life who love me and God enough where it's like no longer friendship here and God talk here. I know I've experienced faith when my friends are willing to step out in their faith on my behalf or on somebody else's behalf and literally stop a conversation and be like, you know what, Aunt?
I'm going to stop this conversation right now and say, put your hands on the wheel. Friends will stop a conversation and tell you the truth.
They'll either tell me the real truth that is not easy to tell me, and they will say, you know what, Andy, like, I'm going to just pray for you right now. Mm-hmm. Or they'll say, like, then let's do it. Like, let's just seriously live this way. That pushes me, and it gives me permission for me to do those things, which for me, I know it's tiny. And I'm not saying that's the end all be all in faith, but for today, that is what faith looks like, and I want to learn how those friendships happen.
We believe when we gather around the Bible, this is the start to real friendships because we're not simply learning together, we're doing life together. Both these things should be happening at the same time. When my relationship with God grows, when I learn, when I am with Andy and she pushes me and I push her and she prays for me and I pray for her, it changes everything in my life. And so we have an event happening January 10th that we are so excited about. It is all about faith, but it's not just about faith, this like solo faith that we think about. It is about, we're calling it, do you remember what we're calling it, Andrea?
Yeah, Fiercely Focused Friends. Triple F, yo.
Guess who came up with that name? Andy always comes up with all of our names. So, Fiercely Focused Friends. We're fiercely focused on God. We're fiercely focused on the Bible. We're fiercely focused on our faith. We're fiercely focused together. It is how we will grow and mature in our relationship with God. Can we video in a Dollar Tree?
Sure we can.
Oh my gosh, this is crowded.
No way. We're literally in the dollar store and just ran into my husband.
Who is not getting something for your stocking.
What we're excited about are two things. The conversation that will happen with our online friends. You guys, if you have not experienced our online friends with truth groups, They give us life. We're gonna share with you guys plan to actually implement. So you're not just gonna hear teaching for teaching's sake. We're gonna give you something super practical to do with 2 or 3 or 4 of your friends virtually. It's gonna step by step walk you through how to do it.
You know what I'm super excited about too? So Melissa's going to teach us a pattern that we find in Hebrews 10. It's blowing my mind because it's giving me literally a new framework to see my decisions about God with. But we're only going to show you kind of the negative part of the pattern. And then the application part, we're going to give you the tools and kind of everything you need for you and your couple people.
To learn on your own.
Which is where it's a game changer.
That is where you will have the most impact. We can't wait to hear your stories. We can't wait to hear what you learn.
I can't wait.
About walking this faith-filled road with your friends. Register, friend. I hope you'll come. Register. And then just invite 2 or 3 or 4 of your people that are your people that you would want to do this next phase of like 4 weeks with in the Bible. Just invite them along. We're at our only friend's house that is here, we think, and Andy's got great ideas, which are, what's step 1? That's a way to welcome him. And then, what were you trying to do?
I was trying to blast Christmas music, but it's a commercial.
And we're on.
We love you, Katie!
Have a place that I can come home to. Yes, I am on my way.